How do you create a vicious child assassin who wanted to know how to love? Trait 1. Ruthlessness and the inhumanity it inspires. Now, Killua trained under a family of elite assassins, so killing and being cruel come easy to him. Here are 3 of my favorite examples from the show. 1. The Hunter exam. He ripped out and doggy-bagged a serial killer's heart with the most devious smile I have ever seen. And it was so quick. The guy didn't know he died till his body became cold. And he turned around and saw his bloody pumping heart in a brown paper bag before dying helplessly at Killua's feet. Masterpiece. Number 2, Heaven's Arena. Now, Killua and Gon being threatened by this Play-Doh face-looking Nen user over here. And when Killua found out that this guy tried to threaten Gon behind his back, he decided to pay him a visit. He snuck in this man's hotel room like Toji snuck up on Gojo, put a knife over his head, and said 3 simple sentences.
You move, you die. You use Nen and you die. Make a sound and you die. If you understand, close your eyes. Do you see what happens when you break your promises?
And lastly, threatened to kill his own mother during the Zodiac Wars.
Nanika, 30 minutes from now, if we haven't gotten off this mountain together, I want you to kill our mother.
Hey, what the hell, Killua?
Now, Ruthless characters are straightforward, but there can be key differences between the way they enact this. You can go the full psycho mass murderer route like Alucard from Hellsing. You can have them delete people for joy/money like Revy from Black Lagoon, one of my favorite characters. Or you can have them delete people for simply being a nuisance to their goals, like Light Yagami from Death Note. What you want to show is that against enemies, they have no mercy or room for understanding, whether that person is a legitimate threat or even a temporary obstacle to your character's goals. They can take them out, threaten them, threaten their loved ones, or torture them physically, emotionally, or mentally without hesitation. Trait 2, Prodigy and the curse that comes with it. Killua was a prodigy in his family of assassins. I want you to imagine a child who was mastering assassination techniques by the age of 3, is immune to all forms of poison, can willingly electrocute himself with minimal pain, can be tortured for days on end without batting an eye, has speed, dexterity, muscle control, and power beyond that of most people in his world, and even has the ferocity and confidence to threaten his own family of elite assassins. Let's go back. His dad forced him out the house at age 6 to compete in Heaven's Arena and told him, don't come home till you get to floor 200. This is a tournament of experienced fighters who are allowed to kill you on stage. And this 6-year-old got to floor 199 out of 251 before leaving out of boredom. When it came to learning Nen for the first time, he, along with Gon, was deemed a 1 in 10 million talent. He ended up developing Godspeed, an electric Nen ability that allowed him to attack and move with the speed and power of lightning, and at its highest level of use, automate his nervous system so he could attack you without thinking about it. All this experience allowed him to hold his own against the Chimera Ants toward the end of the anime, a threat so dangerous it took a nuke and an all-out war with some of the best hunters just to prevent these things from taking over the planet. Your character. Now, to create a prodigy, you must eclipse all those around them in some domain, whether it be through their innate talent, early experience, or just genetics. This works best in places where everybody is measured by that domain. It can be fighting, it can be intelligence, or even cooking. Look at food wars. What you want to do is create this alluring aura around them that not only attracts people to them, but isolates them from those same people. Without someone they can emotionally connect to or see as an equal, they can become cold or ruthless towards everybody around them. And examples of this include Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen and Ayano Koji from Classroom of the Elite. Trait 3. Codependency and the self-destruction it brings. Codependency is described as an emotional and psychological reliance on a partner. And I believe Killua was codependent on Gon, and it stemmed from his mother Kikyo and older brother Illumi psychologically destroying him as a kid. Let's start with Killua Zoldyck. The Zoldyck family have an array of butlers that serve them. These butlers also must be trained to kill in case any intruder steps on the property. Killua ended up seeing a young butler in training named Canary and watching her fight off some intruders, and he ended up liking her and talking to her.
I don't have any friends. Will you be my friend, Canary?
I'm sorry, Master Killua. I honestly am.
Huh. That's so stupid.
As you can see, his mother doesn't want any ideal from entering her son's head. It doesn't have to do with assassination, being cold, or murder. Establishing that he was a prodigy that's supposed to surpass and take over for his father, and she would let no one stand in the way of that. Fast forward later to when Gon, Leorio, and Kurapika show up and meet Canary. She asks him to save him, but ends up being shot. And in true manipulator fashion, she tells Gon and them, Now, Kikyo is a cruel, manipulating woman who, while loves her children, only wants them to do what she feels they should do. In the show with the youngest Zoldyck family member, Alika, who was locked 7 floors deep in the mansion because she couldn't understand or control his power. Let's cut to Illumi. Illumi was a goddamn psychopath. Not only was he the reason for most of Killua's trauma and his inability to fight properly throughout most of the show, Illumi followed Killua to the Hunter exam, disguised as another contestant. Upon getting to the end, he removed it, and you can see the chills down Killua's body at recognizing that that was his brother. Now, this encounter revealed many important things about the state of Killua's psyche. But Illumi could not allow that to happen. He trained Killua. He drilled into him the way he should live. And so his only conclusion was one thing. And over that, Killua had to fight the man that trained him, the man that put the fear of death into him. Of course, Killua cannot do it. His fear of his brother seeps into his bones and even his soul, and he willingly returned home, not of his free will. This shows why Gon became so pivotal in his life. Gon gave him the care and friendship he had been deprived of his whole life, and also showed him a path out of being an assassin, how to be a normal child. He was carefree, he was relaxed, and almost was like a doting mother on Gon. But his care for Gon was twisted. Because Gon's state, Gon's sense of physical and emotional well-being directly impacted Killua's self-worth. So much so that Killua was willing to do anything, even sacrifice himself, to make sure Gon was okay. Cut to Greed Island. Killua willingly let his hands get destroyed so Gon could win the way he wanted. During the Chimera Ant arc, Kite's arm got cut off and Gon went into a rage. Killua, because of how much he's been trained to be afraid of strength, knocked Gon out and left. Obviously the right thing to do, but ended up being the downfall of their relationship later on in the Chimera Ant arc when they went back to find Pito.
キルアはいいよね。冷静でいられて。関係ないから。
And this mentally destroyed Killua.
俺じゃできないんだ
But it didn't matter because when he sensed Gon's life in danger while he was fighting P2, he willingly jumped into an explosion to help his friend. I think the greatest example of Killua's devotion, twisted devotion to Gon, is in the Hunter x Hunter movie Phantom Rouge. Summarize the movie, Killua and Gon were going against a Nen user named Umakabe, a former fan troop member, and his Nen ability allowed him to create a living dolls, copies of people that other people were thinking about. And these dolls could copy the person's physical stature, memories, and even Nen ability. But these dolls would only be complete when he took the eyes from a living person and implanted them on the dolls. So, Gon and Killua ended up meeting a doll of Illumi, and of course you know what this means. Killua went into complete panic and trauma mode, and the Illumi doll proceeded to try and steal Killua's eyes because Killua mentally could not fight back. Gon intercepted this and ended up getting his eyes taken instead. And because of this, Killua felt so ashamed and so disgusted with himself for letting Gon take the fall for him, he decided to fix his worthless existence.
Killua, where are you going?
I'm the worst ever.
He decided to take himself out because Gon got blinded by him. This is a twisted sense of love and devotion. While Killua does care about Gon, he's done everything to help and inspire and be there for him and save his life multiple times. He does it at the expense of his own self-worth, and that is the dangerous part. And luckily, towards the end of the anime, all this love and care he had for Gon, he moved to his younger brother Alaka and separated from Gon, showing that he is grown up and matured and is no longer codependent on Gon being around him. Because up until this point, Gon was the sunshine in his dark world. He had to keep Gon alive to give his new life a purpose. And without this purpose, he would have no choice but to return to his family and continue being a cold and ruthless killer. There are numerous ways to display emotional instability in your character. Abuse, isolation, narcissism, self-harm, depression, apathy. You should think deeply about this for your character, as it is a core part of their nature, but also how they act and move in your story. A great way to illustrate this is to use a need and a desire. And I'll paraphrase it from the book Anatomy of a Story by John Truby. Desire is on the surface. It's what we see your character wants to get in the story. Example here, Killua wanted to explore the outside world. He wanted to leave his assassin life behind, and he wanted to be friends with Gon. Need is under the surface. It is usually hidden, is what your character has to get in order to change their nature. Killua needed to go back to his family, face them in his trauma, specifically his brother Illumi, and prove to himself he is worth the love he desires and is not another person to give that to him. And your need and desire should be in conflict with each other. because who your character is at the start of the story should hold them back from where they need to get, unless you're making an extremely competent or powerful character off the gate. In my opinion, two great examples of this is Edamura from The Great Pretender, and if you've read the manga, Akaza from Demon Slayer. So I actually forgot to record this ending, but if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. These traits pick up the character Killua Zoldyck, one of my favorite anime characters, period. And I'm using these videos as a way to study my favorite stories and characters more, to understand character creation, storytelling, and world building more, so I can make better films as well as write better novels. So if you write just into anime and manga, or like filmmaking, character creation, storytelling, glad you're here, where we can discuss, connect, and dive deeper to dissect our favorite stories so that we can create our own amazing stories off the backs of these authors' works. So stay tuned for the next video and go make your own wicked world.